The signs of climate collapse are not subtle. Wildfires rage across continents, seas rise to swallow coastlines, and heat waves bake entire cities into silence. Glaciers that once stood as ancient giants are now shrinking at alarming rates, and biodiversity is vanishing before our eyes. Yet, despite the overwhelming evidence and dire warnings from scientists, society continues to behave as if nothing is truly wrong. Why do we keep ignoring the obvious? And more importantly, what can be done, especially at the local level, before it's too late? At its core, the global failure to confront climate collapse stems from a combination of denial, disconnection, and disempowerment. The climate crisis is massive, complex, and often feels distant in both time and geography. For many people, the worst effects appear abstract. Polar bears losing ice in the Arctic, droughts in countries they've never visited, or sea level projections for decades in the future. It's hard to be afraid of something that doesn't knock directly on your door, or at least not yet. Adding to this challenge is the power of fossil fuel interests and corporate lobbying. For decades, well funded campaigns have sown doubt about the science of climate change, downplayed its urgency, and promoted the idea that individual action is futile. Governments, too, have often prioritized short-term economic growth over long-term planetary survival, deferring responsibility or making half-hearted commitments that lack enforcement or ambition. The result is a global population paralyzed by mixed messages and political inaction. Then there's the problem of scale. Climate collapse is not just an environmental issue, it's an everything issue. It touches food security, water availability, public health, national security, migration, and economic stability. It requires a complete rethinking of energy systems, transportation, agriculture, manufacturing, and even cultural values. That kind of systemic change is overwhelming, and many people respond to that sense of helplessness by shutting down, numbing out, or pretending it doesn't exist. But if apathy is the disease, local action can be the antidote. While no single community can halt global warming on its own, the collective power of grassroots change can ripple outward, shaping policy, markets, and mindsets. Local governments, civic groups, and individuals can all take tangible steps that not only reduce emissions, but also model the kind of world we need to build. Cities and towns are uniquely positioned to act swiftly and creatively. Urban centers can invest in green infrastructure, planting trees, restoring wetlands, and building parks that absorb carbon, reduce heat, and mitigate floods. Local transit systems can be modernized to prioritize electric buses, safe cycling routes, and walkable communities, cutting down on car emissions while improving quality of life. Municipal building codes can mandate energy efficiency, renewable installations, and eco-friendly materials. Schools and universities can integrate climate literacy into their curriculums, shaping a generation that not only understands the science, but knows how to respond. Local businesses can transition to sustainable practices, reducing waste and carbon footprints while building resilience in their supply chains. Community-supported agriculture and farmers markets can reduce the carbon cost of food while strengthening local economies. And perhaps most critically, individuals can find community with others who care. Organizing locally to push for change, attending city council meetings, supporting climate-forward candidates, or simply making changes at home, from composting and conserving water to switching to clean energy, can collectively create a groundswell that is both politically and culturally powerful. The beauty of local action is that it reconnects people to each other and to the place they live. It cuts through the abstraction of the global crisis and gives people something real to work with. And these changes scale. When one city leads, others follow. When one neighborhood transforms, it becomes a blueprint. Of course, local action is not a substitute for global cooperation or federal policy, but it is where momentum often begins. While national governments debate and stall, communities can lead. Local victories build hope, and hope, paired with action, is our most effective weapon in the fight against climate collapse. Climate change is not a future event. It is here. It is accelerating. And while we may not be able to stop all the damage, we can still shape the outcome. It starts with recognizing that the climate crisis is not someone else's problem. It's ours. And change, as it always has, starts at home.